This is Christ. This is Paul. And this is Timothy. You know Timothy is the son of Paul. Paul says, Timothy, look at him, Christ. He's saying, Timothy, imitate me as I imitate Christ. You hear what I'm saying? Now, this is what the Samaritan is doing. The Samaritan is imitating. You hear what I'm saying? Jacob. As Jacob is imitating Christ. But this is wrong. Very wrong. And that's what the church and the body of Christ is doing. As I'm imitating Christ, many fathers are teaching this. Imitate me as I imitate, and they're quoting Paul. But this is what Paul was saying. Timothy, imitate me. Do what I'm doing as I imitate Christ. What am I doing? What is Paul doing? What is Paul doing? What is Paul doing? Is Paul looking at himself? Okay. So Timothy, imitate me as I imitate Christ. As I'm looking at Christ, look at Christ also. He's not saying, Timothy, look at me as I'm looking at. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So fathers, they are misleading people, telling them, as I'm imitating Christ, you look at me. You bow down to me, bow down. You are bowing down to Christ. Paul is not what you are saying. He was saying, because you are seeing me doing this, you must do it also. Who is Paul doing it to? To Christ. So I need to do exactly what Paul is doing. I opened the church. After opening the church, one brother of mine calls me. He says, I have one call with you now. This call will determine whether we're going to have more calls or this is the last one. Why are you disobedient and opening the church? I answered him with wisdom the Holy Spirit gave me. I said, I'm doing what the Father does. As the Father hears God, I hear God. And God says I must open. I said, God said I must open. I said, I've learned from the best. He says, you have learned from the best. I said, well, now you are playing. You know you don't know anything. I know when every minister said to my father, close church, you must stop. What you are doing is wrong. What? I said, I knew how he stood against all voices and said, God says, I will do what? So I've learned. I'm a breed that has learned from the best. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I've taken what is good. So I will leave everything that is bad and take what is good that I've learned. I've learned to hear God. I've learned to stand when God speaks. And I say, I don't care who's speaking. What is your position? What is what? That's what I've learned. I'm imitating. When all along you were looking, when Timothy all along you were looking at Paul, there's some time where the voice will come from. The voice will come from that side and want you, Timothy, and say, you are not looking at me. There's an obstruction here. I see Paul looking at me. Where are you, Timothy? Yeah. Where? That's what Samuel, when he heard the voice and went to Eli and said, are you calling me? God was calling him behind Eli. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Samuel was behind Eli. And God was sitting this side and saying, Samuel, I can sense you, but I can't see you. I can feel that you are near, but you are not here. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I can sense that you are hearing the message, but it seems like I'm not speaking to your ears. Where are you, Samuel? Then when Samuel goes to Eli, Eli understood. He said, Samuel, it's not me who's calling you. It's not you. It's not me. So next time when you hear the call, say, here I am. Say, here I am. Here I am. Fathers do not fear that you hear God. Because hearing God doesn't disqualify them as fathers. You're not hearing what I'm saying. You must hear what I'm saying.